Thing about, defenses that have dominated, they have dominated, but they've been on the field a long time. So two things are happening right now. They're wearing Orange's defense down, while their defense is getting a good long rest over on the sidelines.
This is the first time in the game that either team has had 3 first downs on the same drive. Ball is to the Orange 29. Infinito, handoff. Morrell will start to the right, but he is hammered and dropped for a loss. And it was 83 Ryan Sellers who grabbed him first. DeAndres Moore came in along with Keyshawn Thompson.
Yeah, and that's the first one of the last few runs right there. We saw some sideways lateral movement right there. Riverside's done a real good job about taking it right at Orange.
So second down and 12. Morrell has 18 yards on 13 carries. Second down and 12 situation. Riverside with the longest drive of the night by either team. Slot to the near side, one wide out to the far. Infinito, handoff. He'll keep it himself, will Infinito, as he tried to fit Orange with a little bit of a change of pace, but Keyshawn Thompson and Bravante Beasley come over on the stop.
And I'm telling you, I'm seeing Peyton Wilson come up a lot on some piles, too. He's got to have a gang of tackles tonight. I'm not sure how many he has.
That was a 1-yard pickup for Infinito as the public address announcer announces that Bravante is celebrating his 16th birthday tonight. So a third down and 11 here. 2-down territory with Riverside down 14-0. Cole Infinito taking a long time to get back to the huddle. Riverside's already burned a timeout here with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're at risk of doing it again. Infinito will put Cabrera to the left. 4 wide receivers and 1 back. And we've got movement. The Orange line moved, but then the right tackle also moved in Mike Parrish. So let's see what's get called here. Looks like Riverside's moving back. And they will. So another 5 yards. Riverside has had 6 pre-snap penalties in this game. Third down at 16 now from the 35 of Orange. 14-0. Orange has scored 1 touchdown on defense from Alex Long, the other on special teams from Peyton Wilson. Infinito meeting pressure, goes back to pass, but he is swarmed and he's going to be sacked. It was Noah Rogers who came in on the sack there. Stone Edwards also got in there, but Noah Rogers will credit for the sack, and we've got Panthers down. It's like Noah being helped up. Infinito is also still down. And he goes back to the 38. Loss of 3 on the play. So that's just been the nature of things here tonight.
Yeah, that was actually a good drive for Riverside, but it's so tough to just string. It's like a really good pitcher in baseball. It's so tough to string consecutive good at-bats against him. And that's how Orange's defense has been.
I once heard Jimmy Johnson say that. Trey Fitzpatrick now on the punt. A high punt, wobbly one. Peyton Wilson will let it bounce to the 5. He'll hit the 1, but bounce into the end zone. Riverside almost got down to down it. Peyton Wilson with a veteran move, not fielding that one. And Orange will take it 1st and 10 from the 20 with 39 seconds to go in the quarter. I once heard Jimmy Johnson, you're a Cowboys fan, Jamie. He once said was a Cowboys fan. He once said that if you have a great defensive line, it's like pitching in baseball. If you have a good one, you can control 90% of the game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Defense, everything really in football, in my opinion, starts on offense and defensive line. You can have everything else you want, but if you don't have a good offensive line or defensive line, you're not going to be very good. And you're seeing the strength of Orange's team, who well on their way to a 3-0 start, is all because of that defensive front 3.
And now Rodney Brooks is in the game at quarterback for Orange. First time we've seen him there this year. Handoff Puckett, but he is pounded at the line of scrimmage and dropped for no gain. Elijah Thomas comes over to wrestle him down on the stop.
Yeah, I'm sure it might have been DeCruz also there. And I got to tell you, Riverside, their defense has been just as impressive as Orange's right now. And you got to, if you're these two defensive coordinators, you got to look over and say, hey, we got to start moving the ball a little bit because the defenses are both playing great.
Can you believe this quarter is going to end with Orange running 1 play offensively from scrimmage?
And that was it right there.
Yeah, unless they hurry up and get this snap off. Brooks with 2, 1, and he didn't get it off. Orange ran 1 play from scrimmage that quarter, and that's thrown into flux by a great special teams play by Peyton Wilson, who returned a punt 48 yards for a touchdown, and that's the reason why Orange has a 14-0 lead. 14-0 Orange with the lead. Cardin's Body and Paint Shop, a proud sponsor of HillsboroSports.com. You can look them up, 732-6611, 732-6611. And I know that Greg and Dennis and William, as proud as they are about their facility, they're just as proud about Casey's Day, which is something that is coming up very, very shortly here, Jamie.
Yeah, it is. As a lot of listeners probably know, Casey Chamberlain was a student in Orange High School who tragically was involved in an automobile accident December 29th of 2012, I believe. And Angie and Ron and John and the rest of her family set up a scholarship fund, and it's giving scholarships away to, I can't even remember how many youth in the area, not just at Orange, but all around the area. They give away scholarships to agriculture students, for athletes, for anybody. And Casey's Day is one of the biggest fundraising things that we have every year to support that scholarship fund. It's a great day. It's September 24th at the Caldwell Community Building. We've got cornhole tournaments. We've got horseshoe tournaments. We have bouncy houses, Duncan booth, which we need to get you in sometime fairly soon, Jeff.
That's true.
And it's all those things. We have live entertainment. This year we're going to have the Steel Shakers, great band out of Washington. Matt Boswell, big-time entertainer. He's going to be there. Mason Lovett Band is also going to entertain us this year. But September 24th is from 10 o'clock until you want to go home in Caldwell, North Carolina, Casey's Day.
It's a very special event. It's located on Highway 157 at the Caldwell Community Center. Second down and 10 as we begin the fourth quarter, and here's Peyton Wilson with headroom past the 25. Peyton Wilson out in the open to the 30, to the 35, near sideline to the 40, angling right to the 45, over the 50. Another big run by Peyton Wilson. He's ahead to the 44-yard line of Riverside. What a way to open up the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's exactly what Orange needed and what Riverside didn't want to see right there, is give Peyton Wilson a little bit of room. And I said this last broadcast, I talked to Peyton's father, Chad, after the Roxborough game, where he's had several big runs. And he said the thing about Peyton is just very simple. He's hard to get on the ground, you know.
Absolutely.
You can get your hands on him, but just hard to get on the ground. Big run right here to, put some separation in this game.
That was a 37-yard run to the Riverside 43, and a Pirate is down way back at where that drive started at the 24-yard line. Try to get that player's number, but 37 yards gives Orange the first down. They cross the 50. This comes after Riverside just had the longest drive of the game, but they are still without a score. The Pirates, 8 consecutive quarters now without a point, after they put up 35 against Chapel Hill. They were shut out last week, and now they're being shut out tonight. When you get right down to it, Orange's defense has only given up 10 points this year. Of course, Northern had 14 last week, but 7 of those came on a fumble recovery for a touchdown.
And I want to say that the field goal from Roxborough in the first game was off of a turnover.
That was off an interception,
yeah.
That was off a pick, and they only had to drive about 12 yards to get in position for that. Folks, I want to remind you about Hilltopper Lacrosse. They're located over in really all Chapel Hill, but you can talk to Franklin Circle. Franklin Circle led East Chapel Hill to 2 state championships in lacrosse, and he's a great man to lead and spread the word about lacrosse. His sons have played, and they continue to play lacrosse. Chandler Zirkle, a wonderful young man, and Franklin Circle loves the sport. He can teach your kids about the finer points of lacrosse. It comes from a man who's won a state championship. He lives and breathes lacrosse. When he's not coaching it, he'll be officiating it, or he's probably over at Duke and UNC watching a game just in his spare time. He's the perfect person to teach you about lacrosse. Hilltop Lacrosse has sent many players on to the college level, and if your son's playing in middle school or in high school, Hilltop Lacrosse is the place to go here in Hillsboro, out in Chapel Hill. Contact Franklin Zirkle today at Hilltop Lacrosse. So Orange, after the 37-yard run, has a 1st and 10. Rodney Brooks is in the game as the quarterback now for Orange. Ryan Puckett, the former backup quarterback, play action fake. Now here's Brooks rolling out left. He's going to gun it deep down the field, and that is intercepted. It was a long pass. It was up for grabs, and it was a pick. Thrown and down at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I'm looking right there. He threw in a double coverage right there as Brooks was rolling out to his left, and I'm looking at Cody Evans walking back to the orange sideline right there. He's first time all year I've shown him signs of frustration because he once again had his guy beat. He was in single cover and had his guy beat by about 8 yards, and they went to the other side of the field. But I got a feel for that kid right there walking off to the sidelines.
It was Zion Harris who wound up picking it off, number 26, the junior cornerback. The ball is back all the way at the 5, so that 37-yard run worked for field position, but this is what this game is right now. Orange doesn't have enough dominant players to roll up a team and beat them 45-0 right now. They just don't have those parts, and all they can do is just grind out victories if they can get them, and that's what they're having to do here really for the third straight week.
Yeah, I was watching Cody Evans right there, Jeff, and he walked up. They got the offensive lineman over there. And Finito just threw an incompletion down to the right side. Yeah. And he walked right by one of the coaches. I could read his lips. He said, "I'm always open." That's what he said, and he turned around and grabbed his water. But you could read clear as day what he said.
So the interception by Brooks is his second of the year, and Infinito with that incompletion is now 1 of 9 passing on the night. It's been that pretty a game. It's something, I think there's a Labor Day curse that we have. That wherever I go to a Labor Day.
It hadn't been Labor Day for all 3 of Orange's games, so they've had 3 clunkers. Really.
Well,
the first game, the second half was decent.
It's a Labor Day curse because both offenses have labored.
Yeah.
It'll be second down and 10.
The barber was in labor when he had to cut your hair.
Yeah, pretty much. 14-0 Orange with the lead early in the fourth quarter. Infinito from his goal line hands it off. This is Kalijah Morrell running around right end, and he advances past the 10 to about the 11. So Morrell for another 6.
And I think also, talking to Casey today, we have a silent auction, and we're going to have a silent auction for the sweater that was woven off your hair when they got cut. I'm going to put 75 cents on that.
What if I auction off my Rush albums? Would that get very much? Or yeah, well, depends on which one you want, I guess. If it's moving pictures, then yeah, that'll sell, but no. All right, third down and 5 after the 5-yard pickup by Morrell. Infinito drops back, looks, far sideline, blocked down.
Peyton Wilson
got it again. Peyton got it by jumping up in the air and swung it down to the turf.
Well, he's done. I remember last year, I think it was Bryce at the Orange game, at the Northern game here. Peyton is pretty much do everything. He's returned the punt. He's, I guarantee he's got well over 10 tackles, just knocked the ball down, and doing it all for the Panthers tonight, and he's back to return the punt.
Beautiful orange sunset overlooking the scoreboard, way off in the distance. With 10:40 remaining, and Trey Fitzpatrick has to punt from his own end zone. Riverside late and getting players out now. They're just now getting the 11th player out to the line. On 4th and 5, Fitzpatrick takes it in the end zone, gets the kick away. Peyton Wilson will let it bounce at the 35, and it bounces upfield. Not the best punt, and it dies close to the 30-yard line. Only a 20-yard punt. So Orange will take it back, and they are still looking for their first offensive score of this game. They've got one from their special teams and one from their defense. It started when Alex Long returned an interception 40 yards for a touchdown. That was in the second quarter. And then to open this third quarter, Peyton Wilson, after a 3-and-out by Riverside, returned a punt 48 yards for a score. 2 Francisco McKinley extra points. And that's all Orange is scoring in this one. It's 14-0.
Yeah, and this game right here it's been forceful to look at. Like I wear my sunglasses at night, forceful to look at.
And here's Brooks throwing a swing pass. This is caught by Pascal over the 30. Good sidestep to the 25. And a little bit of JV from 2015 on hand there. Both Brooks and Pascal played JV ball, and that was really a lateral run that time by Pascal ahead for 7 yards.
Well, offensive football in high school and college has morphed more into that, where, have the bubble screens and the short passes. There's nothing wrong with doing that, especially when you got a quarterback like Brooks who you just put in the game trying to get. I'd like to see Jackson Schmidt when he was in there. The short, little, high percentage things, are so important in football because it's like, why does a team run those at the beginning of the games? Because they're softening the defense up. It's not necessarily about what you do on that play. It's what it sets you up to do down the line. And I wish Orange would do a little bit more of that.
So, second down, short 3. After the gain to the Riverside 23. It'll be second down and 3, as we mentioned. Puckett, the fullback of the backfield, And it'll be a misdirection handoff. Wilson takes off to the right side. Peyton Wilson gets a block, forced out of bounds, very close to the first down to Riverside.